What if I can create a city of my dream? Alright, it's gonna be very sunny there and very warm, of course. Maybe even hot sometimes, so I could feel some difference in the weather. The ocean? Yeah, the tropical weather would be really cool because it's gonna be very fresh after the rain. So I could save some money by not buying a cream for my dry skin. What else? A lot of palms, beaches and culture diversification. I love when a city looks, very clean and people are friendly. Not very busy, not very lazy, something between, because I love to make money, but also I love to chill. So do you know a city like this, and how much would you pay to live in there? Hey guys, welcome to the channel directed by Ari Christensen. This is my name and I hope you love this funny intro, and this is how I see Florida and especially Miami, where I've been living more than a year. It's almost a city of my dream, but probably it's too hot here and here is no any mountains, but anyway, I love to live here, and today we're gonna talk about the cost of living. When I moved here from California, the prices were really cool, but now we have this year of 2022, some crazy inflation that will probably grow up. A lot of people are still moving to Florida from another cities and states, so this is what we got. And I made a similar video earlier, but it was 2021, and now a lot of things has changed, like gas, food prices, and especially rent. So if you are moving or just thinking about to move to Florida and exactly to Miami, watch this video until the end and you will know how much you're gonna pay to live here in this amazing place. In this video we're gonna talk about some rent and utilities, groceries, gas prices, insurance and parking, all this stuff. So let's start. So let's start with the most expensive part of your living expenses, which is housing, of course. In March 2022, Florida home prices were up 8.7% compared to last year, and the median price is around $350,000. In Miami, it's possible to find a house that costs this price, but it's gonna be a little bit hard, especially if you have a big family and want to live in a nice area. But this is how 2-bedroom and 3-bath looks like here in Miami. There are many options from the local real estate agents, and they're busy enough because a lot of people are still moving to Miami like every day. So if you have some plans to buy a house here, better to start the process very soon. And if you aren't going to buy a house but want to rent a property, the price will depend on the area. When someone tells you something about Miami, how do you see this city? Probably like this, right? But Miami also looks like this. So make sure that your area is safe enough. When I was looking for a place for living, I couldn't afford to buy a house. I've been living in this country for just 3 years and I'm still young and don't know where I want to live. Anyway, there are many different ways to find a house or apartments here. For me, it was Facebook Marketplace because I was trying to find a place just for a few months and trying to figure out about life in Florida, because I moved from California and didn't know anything about the East Coast. And if in Los Angeles, I didn't have much problem with finding a cool room or a studio on Facebook Marketplace. Here in Florida, it was just like impossible. The only I can do is sign a lease. But anyway, I would recommend to start the process with Facebook Marketplace, like I told you, because some people leave their houses during the summer season, which is very hot here, and they just leave to travel to another states. It's raining almost every day and all the stuff of a tropical city. Also, Craigslist could help you to find a place for living, but if you are seeking for a 1-year lease opportunity, usually people use Zillow or just Google, and I checked probably 4 or even 6 different places before I found this one where I live right now. So now I live in North Miami Beach. I wouldn't recommend exactly this property because of many reasons, but I made a video earlier when I showed this place in details. So please check it out if you're interested. In a couple of words, we have like 2 swimming pools here. We have a tennis court and a really cool gym. And I would probably prefer to live in a house, but when you have a gym and a pool, some parking lots, it makes you just think differently because you can save much time and money, of course. But I work from home and sometimes I never leave this community, so it really works for me. But if you have a different lifestyle, probably you will need, something another. I rent 1-bedroom apartment on the 7th floor with a nice view and pay around $1,400 per month. I know that this price is probably okay for Miami, at least it was a year ago, but I'm sure that they will increase the price because I hear so much noise from the apartments around. They were doing some renovation and construction, and the place where I live is probably very old, so I'm sure that we'll do something here when I get out from this place. Miami is a big city and offers a different kind of lifestyle. Downtown Miami is one of my favorite area, and if you want to live in Brickell, which is like the local Manhattan in Miami, the minimum price I could find on Zillow is $2,400 per month for one-bedroom apartment. You would get a very cool view, nice neighborhood, and many restaurants, malls, and another place around. And I would recommend downtown, and like for example South Beach, because this is where all tourists walk every day. It comes with traffic, prices, and sometimes crazy drunk people around. But downtown Miami is very compact and looks very nice, especially at night. Not many homeless people, especially after California here, but of course some of them still live on streets. So let's say that the minimum price to rent one-bedroom apartment in Miami is $1,800 per month. Yes, you can find something cheaper as I did, but most likely you will pay a bit more. If you ask me about a good neighborhood, I would say that everything on the west isn't a good choice, but more to the east it's more safety and peaceful. And I would recommend to live somewhere in Little Havana or Little Haiti, unless you're just the local there,
because people just disappear forever.
And about South Beach or Miami Beach, for example, it's up to you guys. I wouldn't live there just because of crazy traffic, a lot of tourists, but more on the north it become better and better. Alright, if you're still with me, this is the best time to put a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel for the YouTube algorithms, if you love this video, of course. Now let's talk about different utilities that we pay here in Miami. You already know that I pay around $1,400 per month, and this is not just a rent. It also comes with water, and I don't know what it's called, but when you throw your trash, not like outside, but like in a hole in the building. The water in Florida is probably cheap, and this is around $8 for like 1,000 gallons, which is probably fine. I don't know. It's raining sometimes outside, and a few days ago I saw 2 little lakes downstairs, which is like very crazy. Who knows how do they get water, right? Now about the electricity, I would say it depends on 2 things: the season and how large is your family. Usually people pay more for the electricity during the summer season because it's really hot in Miami. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you probably know the story when I was moving from California, and I thought that there is no place that could be warmer than the Golden State. I moved in April and the weather was like, let's say, fine, but more from May to the second half of October it feels like you're taking a shower, but it's like a sauna outside. So what people usually do, they use AC everywhere. AC in apartments, in your car, and the gas station, and at your work. And if you're just walking and enjoying the weather and want to grab a drink at 7-Eleven, the difference between the temperatures could be like crazy. I don't really know why people really do that. It's freaking cold and sometimes you feel sick. Anyway, we're talking about the cost of living in Miami, and I pay around $20 or just $30 per month for the electricity. The cool thing is that I live alone. I don't use much devices that has to be connected 24 hours a day, but also I don't usually use the AC because the building where I'm living right now is located like the shadow side. So the sun usually rises up somewhere behind the building, and I don't usually see the direct sun until like 12 p.m. Yes, it becomes warmer by the evening, but feels comfortable enough. But if I need to stay at home for like more time and work just a little bit more, I can turn AC on just to make these hours more comfortable. And guys, I've described so many different details just because you need to understand that the prices could be really different in your situation. But I found this very funny that I could save some money just because the building is located exactly like this. Anyway, when I was making this video, I was a little bit surprised that people usually pay around like $100 or $150 per month for the electricity. If you have a big family, your kids watch TV and every possible light is on, so of course the final number would be really big. Another thing including the internet connection and services. I pay around $112 for the iPhone 13 and the internet on it and at home, but when I will pay off for the phone, this number will be better, of course. There are many different options available here in Miami, so let's say it's around $30 for the internet service. And about the TV and the cable television, for some reason I used to pay for this service that I will never use, and the funny thing is the Optimum charged me like every month, but when I called them they didn't find my name, my email, or like any information about me. Of course I found this very strange, and I get this email said that I have to pay like $100 for the service that I never use. I watch just Netflix and play PlayStation 4, so that's it. If you guys know what is going on here, let me know in the comments below, because sometimes, since I moved to the USA, sometimes I feel like this is not even a country, this is like a business plan, and my heart making money just disappear from my bank account. Here in the USA, it's a big problem with the public transportation because there are just a couple of cities where you don't need a car. It's New York City, of course, let's say San Francisco, and let's say Boston. I've never been in the last one, but it looks like Europe.
But I've never been in Europe neither.
When I just moved to Miami, my first month I lived in nursing house in Hollywood. Yes, for real, with old people in there, just because I'm Russian, and I knew, that Russians in Miami could create something like this, all about money, of course. So when I was shooting a music video, this is what I do for a living, I had to drive from Hollywood to South Beach. My clients are musicians, and many of them live, outside of Sunshine State, so it was like 40 or 60 minutes to one way by a car, like crazy. At least for me, because I don't want to spend like 2 hours sitting in my car, and this is why I move a bit closer to downtown. But if you live, somewhere in Biscayne Boulevard or downtown or South Beach or Miami Beach, you probably can use the buses and the local subway. But more to the north and more to the west, it's getting harder and harder. And how would you feel if you need to spend like 2 hours to one way, and if it's raining, or if it's just hot as hell? So let's say it's almost impossible to live without a personal car in Miami. If you have your own car and don't pay anything for it, the median price for car insurance is around $130 per month. It could be like $80 or $200, depends on the car and your experience probably. Miami is famous for the hurricane season, and this is another reason why they charge you a little bit more than in other states. And this is also applies to the home insurance as well. About the gas prices, it's like crazy everywhere in the country right now, especially in California, unfortunately. So we're not going to be very surprised with this, alright? I would say it's around like $150 or $200 per month. I usually use a car once, twice, or like 3 times per week if I have some projects, somewhere in city. So I pay like 100 or even more. But this is my lifestyle, and sometimes if I have like more project shootings, I have to drive more, and my expenses are growing. But let's say $200 per month, this is the number. And if you prefer use Uber, Lyft, or like any alternatives, it's like $20-$25 for like 20 or 30 minutes trip. Usually depends on the traffic, weather, and time during the day, but I've paid at least like $15, and the maximum was like $60, but it was a long trip for like Doral to North Miami Beach. About the buses, it's around $2.50 for one way. I used to drive on a bus when my car was broken and I wasn't able to fix it. So it's really cheap, but it takes all your time. Alright, the next one is grocery, and it's gonna be my favorite one. I usually cook at home because it saves my time and money, and because I work from just a few feet from the kitchen. So I used to go to Publix when I lived in Hollywood, but now I usually go to Walmart because this is very close to my place. Probably this is the cheapest way to get some groceries, and for me it was like the solution because I don't like to spend much time for shopping. So every 2 weeks I spend around $120 or like $130. It's around $200 or $250 per month. I don't eat meat or fish at all, but sometimes I buy like fake meat, plant-based meat, which is usually $5 for a product. If you feel bored cooking at home in Miami, you can find like any kind of kitchen, especially the Hispanic one, or some smoothies, when it's very hot outside. So let's add $100 or $150 for some meals at a restaurant. I wouldn't add anything like bars or like nightclubs and this kind of place because you would never find me there. But sometimes sometimes I go to the movies and let's say it's like $100 for some kind of entertainment. It could be like Netflix, cable TV, or any services that usually people use. So now we have this number that people usually spend per month living here in Miami, and on the west coast of Florida the life expenses could be really different. And if you want to make a video about another cities in the Sunshine State, let me know in the comments below, because I was thinking to explore more different cities in this state before I move back to Los Angeles. You need to understand that everything depends on your lifestyle, and if you own a house it also requires house insurance, which could be really expensive because of the hurricanes. I don't know anything about your life, but maybe if someone from Brick Hill is watching this video right now, this person is laughing, because the total numbers are very low for this person. But for me, as for a guy who moved from another country 3 years ago, it's more than enough. By this moment I've never paid like this much of money in my life, but I think it's okay because we definitely need to increase every side of our life. I would recommend to live with someone else, of course, if it works for you, and if you want to split your expenses, you can rent like 2-bedroom apartments and it will be a little bit cheaper for every person, unlike living by yourself. I live with a cute but crazy canary that flew through my window a few months ago, and this bird doesn't pay anything. But the cool thing is that we're both vegetarian, we eat just plants, so as a roommate, Lucky Boy is okay. This is how I call this bird. I hope you found this video very helpful, and if you are looking for a new place for living, Miami is a really cool place. I enjoy living here because the weather, the palms and all these plants is really fresh, it's really beautiful here. And after California it's not even dry because it's raining, not like every day, but sometimes. So guys, put a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithms and subscribe to this channel if you love this video, and I'll see you next time. Всем пока!